What's going on, everybody? John out here with you. It's a Thursday, January 2nd, 2025. I know this might be a little bit late into the coverage, but NHL Network has not flipped. I looked on ESPN to try to find anything else as well, and we have to wait until the final seconds because Slovakia was making a hellacious comeback against Finland, but it is 5-3. Let me give you some of the starters here, and then I'll give you the updates. So for Team Czechia, head coach by Patrik Augusta, it's Eduard Jiri Felcman, Matej, Mastalirsky, Petr Sikora, Vojtech Hradec, Jakub Stancl, Vojtech Cihar, Miroslav Holinka, Adam Matej, Ondrej Adam Jecho with Adam Zidlicky. The defensive pairings be Tomas Galvas, Vojtech Husinecky, Jakub Dvorak, Adam Jiricek, Jakub Florger, and Vojtech Port with Matej as the extra. Again, they're just doing the half and half now on TSN. Czechia up 1-0 for Canada. It should be Cole Baydun, Callum Ritchie, Easton Cowan, Tanner Howe, Brandon Yeager, Bradley Nadeau, Luca Pinelli, Berkeley Ketton, Gavin McKenna, Ethan Gauthier, Jet Luchenko, Matthew Catterford. Defense for Dave Cameron's squad be Tanner Molendijk, Andrew Gibson, Sam Dickinson, Oliver Bonk, Caden Price, Sawyer Nimino, and Bo Akey should be the extra defenseman. Again, for goaltenders, it should be the same for Michael Hrabal for Czechia and Carter George for Canada. If those change, I will get that put in as we jump in 16:33 left to go in this first. Again, it's not like me to be in there late. This is just the first time they can jump into the coverage. So this is the last quarterfinal that we have. Again, this is elimination. So whoever doesn't win this is done. Again, we'll give you the update quickly before we jump into this play-by-play. Sweden took out Latvia 3-2. Latvia had a couple unanswered goals as Sweden jumped on them 3-0 early by the second period. USA was all over Switzerland. They won 7-2, won comfortably. That's what you get for winning the group. And Slovakia gave Finland all that they could handle as it's 5-3. The Finns do get the win. So no upsets, but the games were closer with the exception of USA-Switzerland. We're going to get maybe a penalty here. We're going to look at it right now. So Petr Sikora from Hradec and Stancl, 43 seconds into the first. Shots on goal are 5-1 as we're looking at a side-by-side offside. So NHL Network now is carrying the TSN coverage, so they're not going to split away from any of this, so we'll be able to take it all the way through. And in the relegation game, Germany got a 4-3 win over Kazakhstan, so they should be able to stay. Usually it's best of 3. We'll see if they've changed the rules this year. So Ritchie now takes a penalty. So Czechia did have one, and Callum Ritchie is going to take one 4 seconds after. So you can take that and completely shove it, and we will get a reset here. I'm just going to go ahead and pause the recorder for a moment so we can start getting the notes in.
Takes the call. Just definitely gets some powerful momentum. Blocked off by a cat. And it's soft as a touch onto the foot of Port. I guess it doesn't take much to knock something over, but not much there. Now 4-on-4 here. Jiricek shoots. Comes in with Georgie dropped it down.
So Jiricek shoots, and Carter George makes the save. It's 4-on-4. Again, I know on the TSN side between Gordon Miller and Mike Johnson, it's going to be heavily Canada bias, and I understand that too. But this team has not played well in this tournament. Again, they do not score. Now they're giving up a break. Chalet! He gets denied by Carter George with the right glove. So, boy, oh boy, that would have been 2-0 Czechia right out of the gate with 15:35 left to go in the first. Pass across. This one hits the post and stays out. Didn't even test Hrabal. Long outstretched pass again off the one-on-one. Long shot, Carter George, as this one goes off the left pad. There's a flip. So a couple turnovers here from Canada started to turn on the jet engines for Czechia. You don't want to see too much more of that if you're the host team, because Czechia, again, they already forced you to play the way that they like to. We've talked about it before. Czechia taking out Canada early in the tournament in the first round. Czechia then losing gold. And this is two teams that have gone back and forth from each other in the tournament over the years. So this matchup's always pretty good. This is knocked away from Gavin McKenna. It will be picked up now by checking defense. Get a chance to start this one again for Galvas. Will start in his own end, right to left again. Czechia and the all red on the bottom of the pants as they've iced it with 21 seconds. Nadell will get a piece of it. Redmonds are already up 3-1 as Gustafson and Sider already have points against Columbus. So the Todd McClellan area has already done very well. It'll be 2 wins out of 3 games. And I like Todd McClellan. We always talked about on the Kings side and between the Oilers. It made a lot of sense to me. Okay, Saturday on NHL Network will be 3:30 and 7:30. 7:30 will be my Sharks game. So not going to cover the semis, but we will cover the gold on Sunday. Tanner Molendyk had his shot deflected. That one went wide as it's 14:25. Easton Cowan with the chase. That'll be an opportunity one more time for Galvas. I'll make the outstretched pass, try to get this here to the forwards. Husinecky will send this one around the end boards. This will be Ondrej Kos. Try to go ahead and give chase. 14:05 left to go in this first. Canada on the penalty kills about 17 of 22. So they've been vulnerable there. Shots on goal as we've just joined in as the coverage flipped over. 13:55 left to go on the first. Shots on goal are 6-2 Czechia. There's Callum Ritchie now on his backhand, trying to get this across the left side red line, but Kos is there. We'll take a short flip and put this one the other way. This will be off the long flip as it's set around the end boards. And this will be recollected now for Caden Price. Price try to get it in across the left side blue line, gets dispossessed at center. So go back to Callum Ritchie. Dominio will send this around the end boards. Robble will stop it with the stick. Pass will go wide past the defense, and this will be flipped back up by Cihar. Number 15. Stolen now. Chias. Try to get this one toward the right side. Chias will pick it back up. This will send it back around the end boards now. Picked up by Czechia as this goes back behind the left side red line. Will be flipped in back around the end boards for Galvas. This is Gavin McKenna getting a stick on it through neutral. And picked up now for Luca Pinelli. He gets dispossessed off a hit, some body contact as this goes toward the right side and flip back in across the end boards. So I will go ahead and get my lineup pairings reset here once we get the clarifications and on the commercial break, as this is off a long outstretch. Intercepted her. Czechia has got an opportunity to take a long shot. This bounced off the stick of Carter George, a Chalet, the Seattle Kraken product, who has had a pretty good tournament. He's the captaincy. This is intercepted. Pinelli's pass gets picked off the drop pass. Chalet sends this one toward George. It's shut down with the left pad. 12:05 left to go in the first. Shot board is 8-2 Czechia. And Canada may have iced it if this goes rolling enough. Yes, it is. So this would be blown dead against the Canadians.
Every time he's been around. Now, these turnovers are going to cost Canada. I know they want to make plays to build the ice, but you cannot keep spit pucks out into center ice at the red line while trying to activate defensemen and not give up chances going the other way.
Offensive zone draw here for Czechia off the Canada icing. This one is flipped. It's not out. Good work there for the Czech defense as they send this one back and across the blue line. It's just kept in with 11:50 left to go in the first. Martone. Porter Martone trying to get a piece of it off the backhand. Czechia will send it in deep as this is flipped back around for Oliver Bonk. Good back pass. Canada tries to take this left to right again and got the all-white jerseys at home here with the black pants and the leaf on the legs. This is a good backhand. Good Czechia is right there in the middle of the slot just to knock it away. This is picked up here for Molendyk. Molendyk trying to find it in between his skates. Canadian fans want a penalty as Martone watched this one go back and through neutral. Sent in, Harabel stops it with the stick. Czechia now first to get to it off the dive. This one sent deep into Czechia's zone. We'll see if Canada can press on the forecheck here. Try to find something. as this is just flipped away here for Ondrej Kos. Big body contact. Czechia does escape. They stay onside toward the right side red line, and now we will get a whistle with 10:57 left to go in the first. Sikora is down. Number 17 is holding his leg, Peter Sikora, and we'll see on that second line if we get a kneeing or any sort of penalty here. I'm looking on the other end for Canada for Cole Baydoun, as Baydoun and Sikora. Ooh, man, a little bit of the inner thigh and toward the right's a little knee on knee. That could certainly be a major if they want to do it. Sikora not motionless. We see him moving around, but he is not getting up right now. And Canada will definitely have a penalty.
This telecast of the IIHF World Junior Championship is presented by Elite Prospects, the gateway to hockey. Download the app now to track every detail of the World Junior Championships. Join millions worldwide on hockey's #1 destination. Follow any league, team, or talent. Track all trades and compare the players shaping the game. Elite Prospects, the gateway to hockey. Get the app now. Introducing
So Holinka.
personalized prescriptions, including GLP-1 injections and oral medication kits designed to help you lose weight so you can gain confidence and feel healthy. Plus, get guidance on nutrition, movement, sleep, hydration, and answers when you need them. 100% online. With weight loss by Hims, you have so much to lose and even more to gain. GLP-1 injections starting at $165.
Appreciate you jumping in here, Ryan. Temporarily, it's going to be a stoppage. It looks like Canada is going to be going to the box. Could be a knee. They're conferring here.
Very significant moment early in this game.
So I'm going to look right now as we get back underneath the action here on TSN. Canada, there was some good body contact in between Sikora, but then this one is a knee. Baydoun looks like he might have got a piece of Sikora. Again, that's definite, but it's whether or not it's 2 or 5. I'm just double checking my lines here on live sport for Czechia to get this one across. So Felcman's going to be on the third line here. Felcman for Czechia here, as I'm throwing that in on the center side. Sikora is going down the tunnel. Again, I'm watching this one on NHL Network here in the States, as they're still taking this under review. Czechia is up 1-0. Again, it was cut 30 seconds in, but we're still watching Finland and Slovakia, so we didn't get a chance to see the goal, unfortunately. But I will give that reset here as we go through these lines. So normally Adam Jecho, number 10 for Czechia, will play center. He's going to play the right wing on the third line side for Patrik Augusta's squad. So we'll change that there. And Adam Latovi is out. We'll give you an update here. They're still looking through some of the camera shots. It's been a long review.
He remains on the Czechia bench. And I hope he's okay. Certainly. Sort of expected to be in the
Dominic Petr will be the fourth line center alongside Kos. So it's going to be a game misconduct against Cole Baydoun. It's going to be a 5-minute major power play for Czechia right at 10:57. We're going to get into the play-by-play in a second as we'll jump back in. Again, you got to take it with a grain full of salt. If you're Canadian, again, the TSN coverage, you're going to be slanted there on this side. Of me as an American, I try to be as objective as I can be as far as these games. I know Czechia, Canada over the last few years has gone both ways. Czechia is one in the first round. Canada's denied Czechia gold. It's been good matchups here, but for Dave Cameron and the type of players that they brought in, honestly, I don't think they brought in their best talent. They're trying to match line per line like an NHL game when you're really going to have to bring in your best players and sort it out, in my opinion. And that's kind of the way that it goes as well. So here is the major development as we check back into the play-by-play. 10:57 officially. Colby Dune, he's got a game misconduct, 5-minute major for kneeing there against Peter Sikora. It's a 5-minute major power play here for Czechia, and they already opened the scoring 30 seconds in. This one will flip back down. Again, I do have the offensive pairings corrected here from the live sports side. We on the commercial break, be able to get the defense. As this is settled back down here for Czechia. Flipping between Chalet. Good cross ice pass. As this now go back to D. Settle this one back now for Thomas Galvas. Here's a seam pass toward the left side of the red line, and that'll get deflected as Moltarovsky will watch this one go down the ice. Rob will stop it here for Czechia. This will be flipped back across here for Galvas. Galvas now on his back pass. All the checking forwards taking a change right now for Patrik Augusta's squad. And off the drop near the left side blue line as this will go to the wall. A couple of sticks up in that left side boards as this is just tipped. And now Canada be able to take this long flip. It's a short-handed breakaway, if you can believe it. And Hrabal, what a save, rebound, scores! How? It's tied. That was absolutely ridiculous. Czechia caught on a change, and Canada didn't even notice as Czechia, as they're trying to make their change, Canada catch everybody in behind, and Howe scores the goal. How do you do? Number 23, Tanner Howe, as this one there for Jaeger the first time around, stopped by Hrabal with the left pad, but then this cross-ice pass goes back to Howe, and on the second effort, Hrabal couldn't make every save. Jaeger, the captaincy, lifts it right to Howe. Short-handed goal here for Canada ties this one at 1. Ridiculous. That's a break for Canada, big time. And we'll see if that energizes them. They need to kill this. Again, if they're only down 1, that's where they started. But if they can essentially kill this after scoring a shorthanded goal, who knows? You can get that kind of punch out there when you're going against Mike Tyson, right? You build up those hearts. You try to get that knockout. Moltarovsky goes off sides. 9:28 left to go in this first. We're going to take a TV timeout. Canada has just tied this thing shorthanded.
This telecast of the IIHF World Junior Championship is presented by Elite Prospects, the gateway to hockey. Download the app now to track every detail of the World Junior Championships. Join players, scouts, and coaches on hockey's largest platform. More players showcase their game, and leaders uncover new talents. Elite Prospects, the gateway to hockey. Get the app now.
There's an easier way. From painting and cleaning to repairs and more. Taking care of your home is easy with Vojtech. Download the Vojtech app and start caring for your home today.
You're watching, and it's on there. Canada on the board, and in the game, courtesy of a short-handed goal from Howe. And there was the offer, Strong, unable to score, but Canada really scared the play. Nice finish. Well, especially when you're short-handed. You said a guy for a breakaway, here's watch. That's his gets on his horse in case there's a rebound chance.
You got to imagine, even on a kill here, and it's 3:25 left to go in the major. It's now a 1-1 tie. Canada being outshot 10-4. In between Howe and Jaeger there, that was absolutely ridiculous. Jaeger gets denied on the left side pad, and then a backhanded pass skating the other way finds Howe back in behind the defense. 2 breaks for Czechia on their own power play, and Canada scores to tie this one at 1. 8:55 as this will get flipped back down the ice. So this is an absolute disaster right now for the Czechs. Have to start it again, as this will be flipped back around for Klaus. Galvas will send this one toward the left side off the drop in. This will be Tarowski will send this in again off the timeout. Patrik Augustus put out that same line, and they're not getting anything done right now. Again, ever since they flipped in the coverage, it's all Canada, and it started all Czechia. Galvas try to get this one now. Stancl waiting on the right wing. See if they want to go that way against Sikora, who's in off the knee. We'll see what ends up happening with him. Or Czechia, I don't think they should be thinking about anything else other than trying to score here. 8:10 left to go on the first as Molendyk knocks that away from Jecho. This will be picked up in the middle of the slot. Sikora, he's back from the knee. Here's a wrister. This one gets deflected. So, again, he's back out on the ice. He's going to run this now. Sikora near the left side. Again, he was just knee by Beydoun, and all of a sudden he's getting booed. That's absolutely ridiculous. I know that is the home fans, but that is just not what you want to hear right now. But again, they're desperate as this is flipped back down the ice. This will be watched. And across the defense of Adam Jiricek. Again, he was traded from the Columbus Blue Jackets to the Minnesota Wild, in between the younger brother and David Jiricek. So hopefully he can stay on this roster and continue to progress as this goes toward the right side. Jiricek trying to set up the cross pass one-timer. This goes wide of George toward the right side, and it's going to bounce in. The Czechians are going to make this a 2-1 game. It went wide. Sikora was trying to make a play there, and Czechia has got some pretty sweet jerseys. Not going to lie there. 7:15 left to go in the first. It'll be the first to the line, and we'll see who that is. Jakub Stancl was the first to the handshake line. Sikora off the tip. It goes off the backboards, off Dickinson's glove and in. So he tried to play the carom. Dickinson gloves it down. He gloves it into his own net past George. Wow. So he tries to stop this one with the glove hand. He just puts it in and bats it in across the blue line himself. So Dickinson, a little bit of an own goal. Again, that's not where the credit's going to go to. Czechia is going to take it. They still have a major to work with on this power play. So no worse for wear, I guess, for Czechia. The scoreline's still where it was when they started, with the exception of 1-0. Now it's 2-1, but that's brutal for Dickinson. 1:18 left to go on this power play. Right off the draw. This is going to be an opportunity now off the flip. This will go over the into the crowd. 7:08 left to go in the first.
And so this game is a microcosm of the tournament so far. They've had some tough moments. Private major, own goal. And they see Andrew Gibson in his ear. You got to move on. We need you to play. You have to be good the rest of the night.
So Jakub Stancl is going to get credit, even though that was essentially an own goal, because you're not going to take away the extra assist from Felcman and Jiricek at 12:45 on the power play. We'll continue this with 7 minutes left to go on the first. Czechia still played a good period here. We'll see if they can continue to add to it as this goes in across the blue line. This is intercepted, trying to stay on side. Chalet, I don't think we're going to get that. We might get another penalty as well. Everybody else was tied up. Czechia, I think, had a little bit of a push that should put them in the box against Tanner Molendyk. 6:48 left to go in the first, so that's going to negate the Czechian power play on the major. 51 seconds left on the 4-on-4, and then we'll have to do it again. So interference is going to be the call. Not a smart one there for Czechia, but they're going to be going to the box. So Molendyk had a little bit of a push. Not seeing much, but I do think you have to call it there. There was a push with the offhand, and that's definitely going to be the right move to make as Hradec going to be able to go to the box here. So Vojtech, Hradec called for interference. 13-12, 6:48 left to go in the first. John, here with you. Again, I apologize. I missed the first couple minutes. I was waiting for NHL Network coverage to flip. As DeBrincat and Kane scored again. He scored 3 in the last 4 games. So for Tom McClellan, he's certainly liking the way the offense is starting to roll here. And this will be Jaeger, captaincy now. We'll try to get this one in. He's going to take it end to end. Here's a little bit of a windmill. Works his way toward Harabel. That was from 200 feet. He bounced it off the right pad. Cross pass. This one goes wide. Just a little wide there for Price. Price now trying to pick it up toward the left side red line. As this will be sent back in behind the end board. Stolen by Czechia. Again, they can't throw it down as it's a 4-on-4. Try to see what they can happen now. Sikora, I don't like the fact that he's being booed. This is just kept in toward the left side blue line. And Stancl sends it back in behind the end boards. As this touches the stick of Sikora. 1:05 left to go in the Canadian power play. This will be abbreviated. They don't score, they'll be 0 for 2. Everybody's going to take a change. Here's a good weave by Callum Ritchie. Callum Ritchie still with it. Here's a wrister. Big rebound. Harabel made a right pad save. This will start this one back down for Easton Cowan. Now for Ritchie. Crisscross. One-timer stop by Harabel. Again, he's been one of the better goaltenders of the tournament. Toward the right side, Easton Cowan does not shoot for whatever reason. No slot. Start this one again here for the defense. This will block off a couple of check-ins. And this will be sent back down the ice. 25 seconds left to go in the power play. As this will be picked up off the backhand and centered back across. Cowan. Callum Ritchie now. Toward the right side wall. We'll go back here for Oliver Bonk. Set this one up now, trying to wait for Cowan. This will get sticked away, and Shecky will take the long flip, send that down the ice. I don't think Easton Cowan's making the best decisions here, as this is now Cowan gets pickpocketed. This will be safely kicked in across the red, and a couple of hits there for Ondrej Koss, as this will be Gavin McKenna. Off his turn, trying to set it up for Bonk. It gets stick lifted again. Czechia will steal. They'll send this back across their defense now for Jakub Dvorak. Send this back around now for Carter George. This is his bump pass. Almost picked off again. You got to be careful here. You got McKenna on the off wing. As this is Yager. Lose this one for a moment. Gavin McKenna will pick it up. McKenna now off the spin near the right side wall. Inside out move. There's a one-timer gets fanned on. Try to get set back up now for Andrew Gibson. Gibson on his back skate from Pinelli. This one deflected. Harabel didn't see it for a moment. And Czechia can't get it out. This is toward the right side wall now. Canada's got the pressure. Harabel couldn't handle it. Long shot left save for Harabel. Hold 350. We'll take another break.
USA Hockey is teaching more than just a game. We're teaching kids about
teamwork, confidence, fitness, fun.
because every kid deserves a chance to play, love, and excel. Visit USAHockey.com to learn more about the great youth hockey opportunities available for your child. Because dreaming big is one thing, getting the right start is everything.
I'm certain it's level 5. Are you for infants? Certain. I'm certain.
Certainty matters. Like the certainty of Fort Imprint, your home for high-quality promotional gear, including exclusive items and brands they love. Printed perfectly and guaranteed to arrive on time. To wow your clients, nail your next event, or inspire your team, check out FortImprint.com. Fort Imprint, Fort certain.
Get 4% off your first 4 months of Crave by scanning the QR code and start shooting hit series, the biggest blockbusters, and all-time favorite movies. Crave is endlessly entertaining. Good to go here in the opening period. It's a 2-1 lead on Canada, the final quarterfinal today. This is the winner go home portion of the tournament. You win tonight, you don't play for a medal on Sunday. This is bigger.
3:40 left to go in this first. It's been a wild one. Again, I missed the first goal as far as the NHL Network TSN coverage split in the States here. But we saw a couple penalties here, a power play goal, shorthanded goal, a lot of penalties. Some physicality. Canada's starting to get a little closer to even on the shot board. It's 11-8, but Czechia up 2-1 right now as we continue to move along. Czechia will take this long flip safely across the red line. This is walking aside by George. And now in off the rush. We'll see what the Canadians can do as Berkeley Catton goes off sides. 3:09 left to go in this first. So let's just give you the scoring reset. Might as well do that. So Peter Sikora and Vojtech Hradec, 35 seconds in. Then Tanner House short-handed for Braden Yeager. Yeager got denied with the left pad, picks it back up, skating backwards, lives a sauce past the House for another break. 2 breaks in behind Czechia on our own power play in a 5-minute major. Tanner House from Yeager, and then Stancl on the power play goal from Jecho and Adam Jiricek. Again, unfortunately for Sam Dickinson, he gloved it into his own net. Worked as an own goal there. 2:55 left to go in this first, as this will be pinball bank and across the boards. Good work here. Shala trying to keep this one alive as Dickinson will send it ahead. Shala now off the stick lift. It's a bouncing vulcanized rubber. 2:40 left to go in this first. Oliver Bonk trying to get around the zebra. Have to send this one back in amongst the defense. Dickinson can't find it. This is picked up by Czechia. Across George! Makes a left pad save. Bails out his defense. And Dickinson says, thank you, my friend. Able to get a piece of that now with the left pad to stop this from being a 3-1 game. The LA Kings prospect makes a big save. Dickinson, Maltarovsky able to get that steal. Try to send this one here across for Shala. And Carter George, big save with the pad. He stayed in tight in amongst the post. Make sure that Shala couldn't get a lift. All he could do was just fire it at the net low. And that was stopped. 2:30 left to go in this first. Again, we're in the knockout portion as we're in the quarterfinals here. We just started quarterfinals. This is the last game. I wanted to make sure I covered this one because this was the biggest matchup. As this is toward the right side, long shot stop by George. This one will be sent back down. This should be blown dead against the Canadians for an ice. Probably doesn't have to move. 2:19 up to go in this first try with that solo call. On watching this on NHL Network, again, they had to take a late flip in between Finland and Slovakia because that game was awfully close. Really couldn't turn away. But if you were fans watching the NHL Network, I bet you'd be a little PO'd if they did. So we had to catch this one a little bit late, about 5 minutes in. Again, ESPN Plus isn't carrying the coverage unless it is Sweden. So 13-8 on the shot board. And Yeager try to win this draw. He does so to Molendyk. Take this one all the way back down. Is it going to get blown dead again? Yes, it is. 2:13 up to go in this first.
7 IIHF officials, 7 NHL referees. Everyone's watching the performance of everyone as another icing is Tanner House couldn't quite grab a piece on another one draw by Yager. That should be 70% of the tournament. That was terrific on draws. Another confusion when the Czechs stacked their shooter here. A little confusion for Canada.
Another offensive zone draw loss for Czechia as Canada gets possession, but they flipped it down. Probable actually gets to play this one, so will not get a third straight icing. Lines are all clear here for Czechia, so I can mark that away. We'll figure it out for Canada once we get into the intermission. As this one is picked up now. This gets knocked away from Porter Martone and sent back down the ice. Molendyk will leave this one back now for Andrew Gibson. Again, when they're missing a couple of defense there from Brandon Schaefer as he ran in the post and kind of messed up that collarbone, stick up toward the face, not called. This one blocked nicely here for the defense as Vojtech Port still trying to work on it right now. Turnaround shot goes wide of Harabel, and now Callum Ritchie toward the right side. It's in the high slot one-timer. This one goes way wide. Canada now picking up toward the right boards. It looked like they might tie this thing before the end of the first as they got good puck possession. They do. We'll throw this one toward it. Hit one of the Canadian players right in the head as this goes toward the right side. Czechia will get this out through center and flip this one safely and across the red line. So slow to get up after inadvertent shot. Kellen Ritchie got hit right in the face. Got hit right in the visor. 50 seconds left to go in the first. As this is toe drag. This is taken away. Czechia now. Sikora winds up for the huge bomb. He was going for the clapper. Bottom right post, and he barely missed it. As this is settled back down for Dvorak. Dvorak now gets reflected across the red line side for Canada. Off the long shot, Pinelli's chance will be held by Hrabal.
Oh, wow, look at that gash. Now Richie. Here's the high stick. And as small as I get one from Vinegar right across his face. Not called the wrist of the dome. Oh, right in the chin. Cal Richie, the high floater. Not much for a wrister. He doesn't even see it. That's going to require some work for the start of the second period. Jagger for the face-off. That's Holinka. Face-off control by Jakub. That shot is blocked. Holinka trying to bust in. As Dickinson races back. Dickinson.
15 seconds. Oliver Bonk will flip this one back down here for Canada, as this is just onside. Czechia will intercept. Try to get one more rush with 5 seconds. Right side wing. Cross pass. One-timer. Scores! Czechia beats the buzzer. It's 3-1 with 2 seconds left in the first. This game keeps on giving. Czechia gigantic goal. It's Edward Shala. He did it again. The Seattle Kraken product is racing toward the right wing. Shala wide open on the back post. One times it in. Beautiful setup for Mastalirsky. It's Shala. George trying to slide over. 2 seconds left in the first. And Czechia takes a monster 3-1 lead over the Canadians. That is a gut punch. Again, that short-handed goal there alongside Howe, and Canadian side said, hey, there's nobody back there to help out Carter George. Shallow with his 5th for Mastalirsky and Galvas. So the crowd is booing, and that is how it's going to be at the end of the first. It's going to be interesting when we get to the second, ladies and gentlemen. Stick with me. We'll get the rest of the game in its totality on Hopeless Sports Guy, and we'll close out the quarterfinals. Question is Canada going to go home where they already are? Is Czechia going to advance? We got 40 more minutes left at least. So let me settle this up now for the lines. So Nadeau on the first line, and we'll see how much this moves. I'm going to keep Cold Bay doing here, but with the misconduct, I think his day's probably done. So it'll be Nadeau, Ritchie, and Cowan on the first line. Howe, Yeager, and Porter Martone. Porter Martone has been one of those guys that has been off and on here in this tournament. I think I can say that nicely. So they're going to need him to step up. Honestly, they're going to need a lot to step up. Dave Cameron needs to step up because I didn't like, even for me as a USA fan, yes, they got the win over Canada and they look good doing it, especially at the end. But I didn't like Dave Cameron's comments saying the players need to police themselves. Understandable to a point, but you got to be able to make sure you're on top of it. You're the coach. And I don't think that that's what I want to hear. Honestly, if I'm the Canadians, again, you move the lineup around and you put your best out there for sure. But I don't think Dave Cameron should be behind the bench. They moved in between Williams last year and Dave Cameron. They got to find somebody that knows how to coach and willing to let these guys not let them slide. Again, I don't think the players are sliding all that much. Not on the penalty, the disciplinary side, yes. But I don't think they brought in as much talent. But you still got to be able to make sure that they're well coached. And I don't think he's doing that. So Pinelli, Cat, and McKenna, Howe, Yeager, and Martone. Fourth line, Gauthier, Luchenko. Looks like Cataford is out of the lineup today. I'll put Baydoun in here as far as the line's sake if they have to double up. Put someone else in, I will.
So you can sign and make official. Start your will at trustedwill.com. Make it count. With the action. Break the ice with On the Fly. Catch every gargantuan goal, every seismic shake, plus reacts from our experts on the fly on NHL Network. This is NHL Network. Close to a worst-case scenario for a start for Team Canada. Tanner House Shorty, the only bright light. He's standing by without Kenzie Lalonde.
That whole first period, I want to go back to the beginning.
So Gibson and Molendyke, still the same there. Dickinson and Bonk, still the same there. Minio and Price, and Akey is the extra defense as it usually is. So we're all good with the pairings. Let's get this all squared away now with the story of the game.
Yeah, it felt really good. Especially tying it up and us taking that 5 minute kind of gave us some legs. So it definitely felt good.
You put 9 shots on net in that period. How do you guys generate more scoring chances moving forward?
Yeah, we got to have a shooting mentality. We got to get guys in the net. That's a lot of results. We do that. Let's force some goals. Thank you.
James, I think that's Cheryl Pounder, Jecho Neal, and Bob McKenzie, the absolute worst kind of bookends. A goal 43 seconds in, a goal with 3 seconds left in the period. How crushing was that last one?
Well, it's hard to put it into words because you just know how crushing it is. I mean, you're 2 seconds away from getting to the intermission, hitting the reset button, and all of a sudden, there's a turnover, not managing the clock, also not knowing who's on the ice and the time of the clock. You have to be extremely aware because this is a 3-on-2 the other way. One of the defenders is the youngest player on your team. Shelley, one of the best players on their team, on the ice, quick and transition. This is a possession offense, and they're able to convert and capitalize on it. For the Canadians right now, look, they have to show up their execution. He had it a number of times over and over and over. We're marking. Listen, player open, miss pass. Tucks into skates. They can get the shot off. If there's a miscue, they have to show that up.
One of the few things that have to point for them in this tournament so far is that they have been airtight defensively 5-on-5, but not on that third goal, and that air of invincibility that Carter George had early on is kind of shattered right now.
No goals allowed 5-on-5 in the first 4 games, 2 in that first period against Czechia. Also in the pregame, this was the most important first goal in the history of hockey, and 43 seconds into what happened.
I also forgot about 8 other things that I was supposed to mention in that period. Like, don't take a 5-minute major, don't let them in behind the D. One thing we never accounted for was some lucky breaks from the opposition. Carter George has been so good for Canada, but this is a tough way to start a hockey game. The neutral zone play, and it goes the other way, and then off a stick, and the goaltender's thinking that he's going to keep the puck, and it goes 5 goal. And then the next one, Dickinson's trying to play the puck from behind the net, and it goes off his glove and into the net. I just can't think of a worse start for Canada, James. You factor in, they tried to get back into the game with that Howe goal, and then these things happen a real difficult start. They got a massive mountain to climb down.
We have given Canada rightfully a hard time about discipline, but that goal went major. Was that a major in your mind? That was a lot of clean contact there.
Not only do I not think it was a major, I'm not even sure it was a penalty right now. I mean, if you watch the one angle,
I don't agree with the Canadian side to say that it wasn't a penalty. You could talk about maybe whether or not it's a major. That's a inside thigh knee. You can definitely give that a minor. I wouldn't mind giving it a 2 if you don't want to give it a 5, but you got to give it a penalty. You can't do that. I would firmly disagree with that. That's where you're getting your bias. Minor, yes. You could argue whether or not major. Totally agree with that. But no penalty? No. Absolutely not.
even though he plays on a fourth line, he moves up and down the lineup. That's an important loss the rest of this hockey game.
It seemed like one of those European rate calls where it's like this thunderous check and a ref's never seen anything like that. And then all of a sudden it's a 5-minute major. I'm not going to call the guy a faker, but he sold it perfectly. He went down, he grabbed the leg.
Wow.
As soon as the refs
Sold it.
huddling, and then he was up there 2 minutes later skating around like he was instantly enemy number one. Scenario.
And for me, I look at that line, right?
That's funny. I will say they said he sold it. Yeah, he was skating out there, but you know that was a hit. He got knee to knee. That was almost near the family jewels. You can sell that one pretty well, but it definitely would say a 2 minute, not a 5. If you want to go that way, I agree.
Turn the puck over. You can see here, great stick in the passing lane. Now you recognize that there's a player ahead. Beautiful feed. You can see Jecho is in on it, unable to convert, but stays with it, relentless on it. Has the ice, nice square positioning by how to come up the middle of the ice. And the foresight to say, you know what? I recognize that I can get in behind the Jets on this one to be able to put that in. But thought that momentum was going to help them.
That might be one of the longest give and goes I've ever seen. And the other thing, one of the only positives on a 3-1 period, first period, is that's the best period of hockey Jager's played.
Yes.
All right, let's look at the numbers from Sportlogic. Through 20 minutes of play, the only number that matters, down 3-1 on the board, but the slot shots, Czechia with its 9-5 advantage and a 5-1 advantage in rush chances. Second fewest total shots for Canada as well in the period in this tournament so far. It was supposed to be a fresh start. It has been the exact opposite for Canada, same old issues.
But it's the same thing that we've seen throughout the tournament. You can talk about fresh start all you want. Canada's shown you what they are so far in this game. You want to see some fight. You want to see it in the next 40 minutes. I would say that even as an American fan, you got to get on your horse here, clean up some of the extra stuff. And I think a lot of that, Dave Cameron says he wants to blame the players. Put that on the coaching. That's what you're here for. Have them clean up some of that stuff and let them go out and play hockey. Let them figure out everything else, but make sure, help them keep it clean. That's what coaching's for. And what are we talking about here? It's just Kool-Aid Central excuses. You don't need to make those. Players wouldn't want to hear that either. Okay, so again, I didn't get to see the 30 seconds in as NHL coverage didn't cut. It wasn't on ESPN, but 30 seconds in, you got Sikora from Vojtech, Hradec. A knee against Bedun on Sikora. He gets the major, no matter. Jaeger gets behind the defense. He got denied by the left pad by Harbaugh, but it's Jaeger that finds Yao behind the defense again. Backhand pass and lift. That was a sick pass and a sick goal for Canada. 12:45 as the Czechs have had the major power play. Shot from the point bounces off the boards. Dickinson tries to slow it down for George, but he gloves it into the net. Czechia takes a 2-1 lead. And then just 3 seconds left to go. The backbreaker, maybe. It's zone to zone for Czechia. With 3 seconds left in the first, Chalet gets behind the defense. Mastalirsky finds him on the left side wing for a 1T lift and finish past George. 3-1 Czechia after 1. Shots on goal 14-9. Power play is 1 for 3 for the Czechs. Canada 0 for 1. Canada does have that shorthanded goal from Tanner Howe from Jaeger. But Sikora from Hradec. Stancl on the power play from Adam Jecho and Adam Jiricek, and Chalet from Mastalirsky and Tomas Galvas. And that is your reset. Let me, while we're in the intermission, and thank you for joining me and anyone that's listening here on this side. Again, I said, all right, it's time for the elimination rounds. Who's losing this game? 50-50 between Czechia and Canada. We'll see the way that goes. I think the second period, if you don't know by now, you're going to know by then. That's just my opinion for the way that this game is going. Let's look. I'm going to open up this playoff tree here so I can update this on Hopeless Sports Guy per usual. It's been a couple really good games here. The only one that was a slobber knocker was USA-Switzerland. That was expected, but Sweden-Latvia. Sweden was up 3-0 in the middle of the second period, and Latvia came back, scored 2 goals. They scored one really late, pushed Sweden right to the brink, but they got the job done. That team still has not lost in this tournament. And Finland and Slovakia, it looked like Slovakia, as Finland was pumping the brakes, Slovakia was giving them the business, but Finland holds on, wins 5-3. We'll give you those updates in a moment. I'm just going to type in these scores.
Starts off tracking that beam out the wall, flip the stick, hit the puck away, jab turn, take it away to the net, and kind of D-man in the way there, so you protect the puck and spin off that D-man and catch the net on your backhand and try to play the far side. There's so many good D-man out there with good bump sticks. Do it quick and you can spin off them, clear a lot of space, and get open in those good areas. As you move up levels, you might get really good, you're good with your sticks, so you can spin on them and kind of drive the net and get in that scoring area. Shooting big goals with the backhand shot is very important.
And then the one last score to tell you about is Germany and Kazakhstan. Germany wins the relegation game, so they're going to get to stay where they are next year in the tournament. They win 4-3 over Kazakhstan. I don't believe there is a best of 3 in the relegation anymore, but I'm going to double check that before we get into the stuff tomorrow.
First overall pick coming in 2025 draft scores there as well. U.S. wins big 7-2 the final on that one. Quarterfinal number 3, Finland Slovakia, rematch of last year's scores. Early in the first,
so I'm going to need to at least wait until this stuff is done before it's updated on Live Sport. I thought that they might do it as far as what would be next, but it's still the same brackets here.
Czechia wins this game tonight. They will take on the Americans in the semis, and it will be Sweden.
Ooh, it's going to be rough for United States. See, I might miss that now. So if Czechia wins this game, they're going to play the United States. Canada, if they win, the United States plays Finland. I'm going to say this honestly, even as an American fan. I think Czechia is going to really give the United States the business if it gets to that point. That's going to be a tough game on Saturday. I'm not going to be able to cover that one because of the Sharks. I'm going to bring in Ian here as I'm in the intermission. So that's what's at stake. Again, I was just talked about on NHL Network on ESPN. Sweden still looks like the best team in the tournament to me at the moment. Ian, how are you?
I'm good, sir. I'm not able to watch this game, but I'll be listening in with you.
Well, I appreciate that. You can also take me a little bit around the NHL. There's a lot going on. You know what? Right now, I think we can at least share some thoughts if you've been following around a little bit at all. But Canada does not look good right now in this tournament. They have not looked good. And some of the quotes that I saw from Dave Cameron, who's their head coach, when they played against the United States the other day, my friend, he said the players need to sort out their own penalties and figure out their own stuff. Well, that's part of the coaching too. So, you know what? I'm not sure that Canada brought their best players, and I don't think they're well coached from what I'm seeing.
Well, their record is 2-1-1, so I have to take a word for it that they're not looking their best. I gotta be honest, I haven't really been following. I wouldn't even know who's leading in the standings.
That's all right. I'm just saying over the last few years, though, Canada's had some great players. They haven't really brought them all on this side, but as it is, the United States ended up winning their group. They lost one game alongside to Finland, who's been pretty good. They got a win today. And Czechia right now is 3-1. Their only loss was to Sweden. Sweden is the only team that has not lost in this tournament, and they look good. So I'm just closing out the final night for the quarterfinals. I'm going to miss the semis on Saturday, but we'll see what we get.
Well, are we still in intermission?
Yes, we are.
All right, so to take you around the league, around the NHL, I should say. Let me get there. The Hurricanes and Panthers are tied 1-1. Goals scored by. Let me load. Come on, ESPN. Aha, here it is. Goals scored by Brent Burns for the Canes and Antoine Lundell for the. Or is that Anton Lundell for the Panthers?
You got it right.
All right. Next up, 2-1. 2-1. Rangers up on the Bruins. Goals scored for the Rangers. Goals scored by Mika Zibanejad and is that by chance Brian Berard?
I'd have to look and see on that one. That's a name that's not familiar to me. The Rangers have been falling apart so far. They're almost last, I think, in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah. The lone goal scored for the Bruins was scored by Elias Lindholm. The Wild and Capitals are tied 2-2. Goals scored for the Wild are by Trennan and Ryan Hartman. Goals scored for the Capitals are Tom Wilson and Alex Ovechkin on a power play. What a surprise. Still got that howitzer. Okay. This is. I don't know if this will make you happy or sad, John. I'm sorry, but the Red Wings and Blue Jackets are tied 3-3 at the end of the second period. Goals scored. Goals scored for the Blue Jackets come from James Van Riemsdyk, Zach Werenski, and Sean Monahan. The Red Wings, goals scored by Patrick Kane, Alex DeBrincat, and someone named Gustafson has their first goal of the season.
Yeah, David Gustafson, the former defenseman for the Rangers.
It's not David. It says his first name begins with an E.
Let me look back down here. Eric Gustafson from Justin Hall. There we go.
All right. Let's see. Other ones include, the Maple Leafs and Islanders do not have a goal on either side. The Senators are beating the Stars. Goals scored by Grieg and Brady Tkachuk. The one scored by Dallas was Rope Hintz. And the final game that's currently going on, the Jets and the Ducks. The Jets are leading the Ducks 2-1. Goals scored by Leo Carlson for the Ducks, Lowry and Mark Scheifele for the Jets. And that is the action so far.
Yeah, Ian pretty much nailed them all. Again, now we got 17:45. We'll have to go here in a second. The cross-checking penalty against Czechia is going to put Canada on the power play. We'll take a look at that. Vojtech Cihar is going to go to the box here for Patrik Augusta's squad. So Canada needs goals. They're down 3-1 heading into this second period. Again, that Eduard goal, the Seattle Kraken product, he was able to get behind the defense with 3 seconds left off a one-timer lift and finish that one off. And that go-ahead there is the biggest one right now, as Dave Cameron will continue to look on. So this is pretty much straightforward as it gets near the right side. And PR is going to get a back turn and a cross check. So no problem there. Again, you can call stuff in the IIHF a little bit tighter, but that's about as clean as it gets as far as a penalty call. So this is going to be, unless we're going to get an embellishment, that would completely change some things. I see Berkeley Cat now in the box. So that Cihar was going to be in the box for the cross check, and they are going to throw an embellishing the other way. So let me count 1, 2, 3, 4 apiece on all sides. So I think we're just going to go here. 17:40, so an embellishment. I'll look on the live sport feed and see what they say. Harabel makes the save, and this one will be picked up by Kos. This will send us in across the red line. Good hit. And Czechia finishes that again. A little bit of a cross check going on. Backhand, and this is too far there for Carter George, the goalie for the Canadians as this goes back around the end board. So what did they call officially here? Let's just look at this as I'll load this back up on the live sports side just to see what they got at 17:05. Have to find this one more time and refresh. So Gauthier has it. I'll take a long shot. It's blocked by Harabel. I'll send this one back down the inboards. Gauthier will give it a look off the flip as this one's sent in. Czechia will try to get a chance to stop this one as I'll flip back into this game here momentarily. We got 16:40 left to go into the second. I'm just trying to find this actual board here, what they called. So diving against Berkeley Cat, not the cross check. As it's flipped back in across the left side red line, sent in. Carter George will stop it. I'll play this one, bounce it off the right side glass. We'll see if Gavin McKenna can get anything going as Calvin Ritchie sends this one across for the Toronto Maple Leafs product, Easton Cowan. Ritchie, cross pass. This one blocked nicely aside by the Czechian defense as they send this one back around the end boards. Pull back up the rosters here as this goes across the right side. Here's a long shot. George says no with the stick. Canada try to push the other way. Ritchie with a back pass. It's going to spring open McKenna. McKenna tried to make a feed, but nobody was there across the blue paint as this will be picked back up now across Czechia. Shala will send this one down. And Czechia has got it. Poltarowski will have it toward the right side boards. This will be in toward the right side red line. Canada able to find possession just for a moment. Czechia trying to get this in near the left side boards is Gavin McKenna. We'll watch this go around the other way. Toward the right side. Canada. Here's a touch pass in between some legs. Czechia solves that equation. And they'll flip this down the left side, too far for Yurko. This will be sent in now for Canada off the back flip. Long slap shot. This will bounce back in behind the defense. 15:15 left to go in the second. Czechia pick this one up at the back skate. Sikora will send it down. Czechia will go ahead and let their forwards take a change as Vojtech Husinecky will send this one toward the right side boards. He gets around a hit, drops a stick, but the defense will try to find this toward the left side red line. Canada now try to get possession in deep. The shot gets blocked off the one-timer. Czechia now trying to chip it off the glass. They will. As Dickinson try to get a piece of it for Canada. This will be sent back down. So full changes here for Canada as well for their forwards and Dave Cameron, as this will be slowed back down by Canada, and they'll try to start this one again. Again, Bo Wiggy now has it in behind the net here for Carter George, the Los Angeles Kings product, as Pinelli will get denied against the glass. 14:15 left to go in the second. This will be off the flip. Felcman will watch this go around the right side red line and sent back in off the glass. It'll be a hustle forward into the neutral zone, and Czechia will have it again with Jakub Dvorak. Dvorak now to the left side red line. Here is Czechia. Shale with a wrister. This one stopped by George as he knocks that one down with the stomach, and Soronimio will send this one. This one goes in the glass, and we'll get a stoppage with 13:56. It'll leave us to a commercial break. So not often, and I had to look on the live sports scoreboard. Again, it took me a minute to find it. I apologize for that. To get a little bit of a embellishing, a little diving against Canada, but no penalty, no worse for wear there. They just sent everybody off as we get to a break with 3-1 still the score line. Czechia scored with 3 seconds left to go in the first. There was a shorthanded goal for Tanner Howe on a 5-minute major for Czechia. They got scored on their own major power play, but that's all Canada's got for good news. They don't win this game. They're just going to stay where they are as the host country, and they'll be eliminated without medaling for 2 out of 3 years. We got a loaded NHL night. Again, Ian already gave us all the scoring updates. Sabres and Avalanche just after 9. Same thing for Utah and Calgary. Flyers, Golden Knights, 10 Eastern, Canucks, Kraken. The very late game will be the Lightning and the Sharks.
The only team that's not playing are my Blues. They play in 2 days, I believe.
it's nice to get a little bit of a break. Again, they were able to make up some of those games, as you mentioned, going between them. They absolutely obliterated the Blackhawks in that Winter Classic.
Yeah, our friend Alec posted about that, and I agree. They are great. They have broken. If they haven't broken Connor Bedard by now, they are really close.
Hey, Connor Bedard is going to have a future and we all know that, and I agree with you there. But there are certain teams, certain times against certain players that can absolutely break you and get in your head. I think you're absolutely right about that.
Well, no. I'm not talking about the Blues breaking Connor Bedard. I'm talking about the Blackhawks breaking Connor Bedard.
Well, yeah, they don't have a lot of talent in behind him. I agree with you there. They went for the full rebuild. Then they went for Taylor Hall and some of the other veterans there too, and it's going to take a lot more time than they want.
And the guys they've signed for 1-year deals, if they're still in rebuild mode, they were banking on those guys having good seasons for better trade packages. I mean, what has Taylor Hall even done?
He's been injured. That's really all you can really say.
Oh. Wow.
I mean, that's as rough as it gets, but we have to say it that way. There hasn't been production, and you're right about that. You got your captaincy in Foligno. You bring in Hall for the extra scoring. You got Teuvo Teravainen, and it's not worked out too well. As we picked up now for Easton Cowan for Canada, long slapper. This one goes high for Hrabal. Back in behind the net, there is a stick that's just sitting there right now, but it's not the goal stick. Czechia trying to get this one out of their own end. They will elude it near the left side red line, as this will be chipped in. 12:30 left to go in the second. And Ian has just left. I think he might be able to join back in. He might have lost connection. Either way, I'm going to take you through this nonetheless. 12:20 left to go in the second. As this settle back on for Porter Martone. Toward the right side dot, one-timer. This one deflected. As this will be bounced off the foot of Michael Hrabal. Sent back down for Gibson. Will make the outstretched pass. As Easton Cowan, he gets denied. Good stick lift there for Czechia. Again, they got a 3-1 lead in this one. 11:55 left to go in the second. Joiner with you alongside Ian Genji, and just going to be hanging out for the ride here as I take you through all the way to this one. Again, I'm not going to be able to cover semifinals, unfortunately, if it is USA-Czechia, which it would be if that's what the result holds, if it's still a Czechia win because of the Sharks assignment. And I think the United States could be in trouble playing against them because Czechia is big, physical, they can score, and they force you to play at their pace. It's going to be interesting when Russia, when all that stuff gets lifted as far as them being able to compete, what's going to happen with them in a tournament like this, or especially at Four Nations. This is a couple of stick chops, and we'll get a stoppage here. 11:17 left to go in the second. Defensive battle right now. Chalet got a hit to the glass against Price and a little bit of a hold. A lot of more defensive battle. A little cross check there from Nimio against Czechia. If you wanted to do that there, he's the Nimio, the defenseman, the 89th overall pick by Vancouver in 2023 in the third round. The one thing you can say about Canada as far as their players, they've tried to match line per line like a regular NHL game rather than bringing in their best talent. When you think about Zane Parekh, the World Junior prospect there on defense for Calgary, who was a really high pick there alongside the Flames, he should be playing on their top line, but he is not doing anything right now. So he's continuing to build and across the other sides in the AHL, but he's not playing for Team Canada like you think he should be. They didn't bring in all their best players, and their coaching hasn't been the best that they wanted. This is Zidlicky now trying to get this toward the right side. And this will be kept in, bounced in behind the cage as Carter George. I'll try to take a look at it now. Canada, see if they can find a way here for Price as he flips this one in. And Czechia now for Port. So Vojtech, Port, and Jakub Figber will be the third line defense here for Czechia. And they'll be able to get this one left to right. Again, they got the red in the side of the jerseys and the pants with the silver on the top. As this is picked up back in behind the net. Canada trying to go right to left as Gibson raced for it. He got the all-white jersey with the black pants and the red striping. Berkeley Catton. He will get this one for Pintilia. This one will be blocked with 10 minutes left to go. We're halfway through this one as he gets sent back down the ice. And this will be blown dead against the Czechs. They can't change. So they're mentioning alongside Gordon Miller and Mike Johnson. Again, they cover a lot of the stuff. Again, I'm watching this on NHL Network. They're carrying the TSN coverage. It's not on ESPN Plus. They only carry the stuff for Sweden in the States, apparently. So that's how I have to watch it. But again, this is Canadian coverage, and they're just telling you honestly that not a lot's going on right now for Canada throughout this game, with the exception of the shorthanded goal. After getting land-based a little bit in the third period by the United States, that game was close, but it was 8 penalties for Canada in that game a few days ago. And again, there's been a lot of that in this one right now, and not a lot of shots. 17-11. Czechia's got the edge there, 3-1 on the scoreboard as well. Carter George will slow this one down. Nimio try to get this one across. It's picked off by Czechia. Easton Cowan stuck in his own end near the right side of the glass. As this will be picked back up now, pull back up the Canadian rosters as they try to take this right to left. Oliver Bonk try to drop this one to the right side. Good stick for Czechia. Will safely gain the blue and put this one back through neutral, as this has to get recollected by the defense. Dickinson now toward the left side on his backhand. Shovel it through the middle of the paint. Good stop there for Robble off the backhand. It's been Canada's first shot about 5 minutes. This one blocked off the slapper before it ever hit Robble. A one-on-one. See what they get here. Long shot. This will just be flipped by George. He'll play it. He almost ran into somebody, but we continue on. 8:35 left to go. Czechia was really pressing on that forecheck when Carter George decided to play. As this goes back for Port, we'll send this back in behind the defense. Dickinson now will steal. Pair of threes. Canada's got it. Gavin McKenna try to make a play. The drop there for Yager, the captaincy. Dickinson. This is shoveled slowly. Dickinson, last man back here for Canada. Start it again. In his own end. 8:10 left to go as he surveys it around the boards. Again, trying to go right to left. Czechia now will intercept. This is a very defensive second period right now, and not a lot going on. And for Czechia, they got a 2-goal lead. If they can keep it this way, I think that that's exactly how they would want it. And again, if they get a chance to match up against the United States, you're going against a team that has a lot more firepower in a couple days on Saturday. But the defense can be tested against Czechia. Again, you lost guys like Lane Hudson and Jimmy Snuggerud, Rucker McGorty, guys that have made some of the trades there in between the Ducks and all that. We'll take a break. On the YouTube question, I looked at it. I said that it's time for the elimination rounds. Who's losing this game between Czechia and Canada? Right now, we've got a 50-50 split and 4 votes. We'll have to see right now. I think if Czechia holds on to this lead heading into the second period, I think they're going to be able to take the third. That's just my opinion.
In other news, let's take a look and see if there have been any. Well, there is one thing. The Maple Leafs strike. The Maple Leafs strike first against the Islanders. Finally, in the second period, someone has some scoring offense out. It looks like, what is that? Oh, looks like
Bobby McMahon.
Thank you, John. My words got caught up in my throat there. Anyways, yes, McMahon with the first strike.
Well, I can say slight development if you're a Red Wings fan. As I look in between the coverage now alongside Ian, I do see Ken Howland and Steve Yzerman here in Ottawa scouting in the World Juniors. I wonder what I should be thinking about that right now, but I guess alongside Todd McClellan, he just needs to take care of business among the Blue Jackets as the big boys are watching the World Juniors right now. So Price now on his backhand. This will be flipped back and across for Czechia. And we do get another stoppage. I do want to get some of Ian's thoughts. As I was looking at some of the college football playoff, I was wondering what the heck was happening to Oregon yesterday against Ohio State. I mean, that looked like a demolishing for pretty much the first half of that game, as it was sent back in behind the cage. Canada still trying to find this among the side of the goal as it keeps bouncing off the netting. They will emerge in the high slot now for Berkeley Catton on his backhand. He will leave this back to Price, but he can't hold the blue. 6:50 left to go. They'll dump it in across the red line, and Rob will stop it with the stick. We'll have to start this again. Zedatorowski will send this around the end boards. The forward will play in his own end for the moment, try to get this one pushed ahead as he'll pull back up the Canadian lines again. 6:30 left to go in this second. Joining her with you alongside Ian Genji as this is flipped in across the red. Picked up by Czechia. They might have something here now off the rush. Long shot swallowed up by George with the glove. I'm going to pull up some of those scores as we get the save. I'm just going to look on ESPN for the college football playoffs. Looks like Notre Dame got the win over Georgia. So Georgia goes down, Oregon goes down. And Ohio State won 42-17 in that game against Tennessee. You're going to have to flip this one back up, though. It's not organized. Organize this a little bit better once we get another stoppage. Gauthier now has the puck here for Canada.
Hey,
Go ahead.
John, I gotta hop off for a bit, but I'll probably be able to join you for the rest of your broadcast.
All right, sounds good, man. You take care.
All right.
5:50 left to go now in this second. I'll give you some college football updates a little bit once we get toward the end of the second intermission. There are a lot of notes that I have to type in here for this second. I'll be completely honest with you. This is a defensive battle, as this will be sent back around the end boards. Robel's going to stop it. And now Cowan will get his hit in, and alongside for Dickinson. Do believe alongside for Beijing with that misconduct. They're playing down a forward here for Canada, so that's about as nightmare as it gets, unless Robel makes a mistake here trying to play the puck. And now Czechia will have this one turned the left side dot. And Sikora, every time he touches the puck, he's being booed because Beidun got that misconduct. And it seemed like he was skating a little undeterred about 5 minutes later, so the crowd's not going to be too happy about that. Sikora try to find it now, and behind the defense, we'll take this one to the high slot toward the right side. Is Dickinson now. Try to get this one out. Couple stick chops. Czechia fights for it. Toward the right side. One-timer saved by George. Hradec got denied right in front of the circles. We'll take a break. Ooh.
True hydroponics and wetting technology. Water just blows right off. The level of wash and slickness is unbelievable. With over 40,000 five-star reviews, Cerakote is guaranteed to be the glossiest, slickest, and easiest to apply paint seal that you have ever used. Buy any of Cerakote's ceramic products for under $20 today. It's got a team for credit. Success of the World Junior Championship. The gold medal the last 3 years. In the last 12, Canada's won the gold medal 5 times. It's also been unranked 5 times in that period. But in danger now of losing quarterfinal games in back-to-back years for the first time in 30 years of the playoff format has been used.
If the United States Again, if Czechia wins this one, United States are going to be playing Czechia here. But if Canada loses, they would be eliminated in the quarterfinals and not medal twice 2 years in a row. That hasn't happened in 30 years here for Canada, so that'd be big. Long flip, this one gets sent in. Again, you kind of take some of that stuff for granted. About half of these within 12, some gold medals half the time and not getting anything. So it's been a little hit and miss of late here for Canada, and that's why some of these fans are getting frustrated. You think you take it for granted, but I'll just remind you here, Russia still is not here because of the banning temporarily of competition. Again, same thing for alongside for 4 nations, Olympic play and all that. I can't wait till they get a chance to come back. They got to get all that stuff figured out and get everything squared away. But you have that. Again, Finland, great showing. Latvia had a couple wins for the first time ever in their history when they got that shootout win against Canada in that 8th round. And these teams are good. There are certain teams that are, struggling because they don't have as much talent. When you think about Germany at time to time, but you do have Moritz Seider and Leon Draisaitl, prominent German players. But there's a lot of good teams. Finland has been one of those teams that have taken the United States back and forth each time. And again, some people will say upset, on the channel for IIHF. That's not an upset if Finland beats the United States or Finland beats Canada. And Canada won 4-0 against them. But Finland's really, really good. They can medal. They can definitely get a silver or gold medal. So there's a lot of teams, especially where we are right now. You have the best of the best. But going into the tournament, I think a lot of these teams has handled themselves quite well. Really, the only other one that struggled a little bit, and Kazakhstan still scored a lot. They're going to get relegated, but I didn't think anyone that did that bad this year. 3:45 left to go in the second. So we get an offensive zone draw here for Canada. Desperate to try to make something happen in this period. As it's played in now off the backhand. Minio will try to get this one to Molendyk. 3:30 left to go in this middle frame. Molendyk, one-timer Gibson. This one goes wide. Toward the right side, Berkeley Catton's pass will go right to Gibson. Gibson on his backhand will send this one back for Pinelli. Pinelli now toward the right side, shoots it off the outside of the post. 20-13 on the shot board is Czechia. This will just kept it across the blue. Good hit as Czechia this time might actually call for a penalty. This one off the knee. It was a big contact. A little bit slow developing there for Chalet, but he's going to go to the box off the hit. So Chalet is going to give the Canadians a power play right at 3:04. The green men in Vancouver, but the red men now in Canada. I'm going to say that Canada needs this one right now. 2:55 left to go. Chalet in the box for tripping. I thought he had a good hit there, but it was kind of close to the almost body contact when you think about Baydun, who got the major. 3-1. Yager. Send this McKenna wrister. This one's solved by Harabel, but it goes to the left corner. Gab McKenna. Waiting across the bumper. Molendyk cross pass one more. Harabel slides over. He finds it. I don't think he tracked it all that well, but he did find it. 2:37 left to go in the second. $1:33 left to go in the third power play of the game here for Canada. So technically both teams the same amount. We'll see what comes out in the wash, but this is all important right now for the Canadians. They've got to score here. Get this within one. Could they peel off a couple of goals here in a row? They could, but we have not seen this in the tournament, so what better time than now to score on a power play near the end of the second. Offensive zone draw will be contested. Canada will get this back to D for Molendyk. Molendyk held for a moment. Here's Jaeger. will let a wrister go. This one deflected in amongst the Czechian defense. Back to Jaeger, captaincy now. Toward the right side, dot 1T scores! Baked in off the post and in, and Canada does get within one. 2:20 left to go in the second. They had to have it. That's costly there for Chalet, but had to have it there. Porter Matone gets Canada within one.
This is why he's back in the lineup. Tremendous 12-point season. And what a retrieval from the back of the net to get to the top of the circle. Jumps in the air, kick. That's a nice tip. Skates off the ice, but stick on it. Get up and over. Bravo. Look at this. Oh, that is well done. Right of the bar. No chance for the goaltender. And look at what's the objective of the period? Get one. Can you get one? They have. One of four players that can be rostered. Two have been drafted, and Marcel's eligible for the upcoming draft. The late birthday boy of October 26th.
Canada had to have it, and they got it. They're within one. 2:05 left to go in this second. Again, this has been one of those matchups that has been hold all tickets. Porter Martone with his first of the tournament. Big one at 17:40 for Molendyke and Yager. 17:40 was the time of the goal. 1:50 left in this second. John Under with you on the call. 20-16 on the shot board. It's been a much better second period for the Canadians. Now all of a sudden within one, they definitely got a chance at this thing. If they could score again here, this would completely change the narrative in this game. They got 90 more seconds left to go in the second. Dickinson gets the steal. This is flipped to Gauthier, able to keep it in long wrister. This gets blocked on the right side. Gauthier gets it back. One of the Czechians lost their stick. Big slap shot. This one wide of Harabel's glove hand toward the left side red line. Molendyke. Now Dickinson will send this one back. This is Yager now. Dickinson wide open in the slot. Wrister saved by the left hand of Harabel. 1 minute left to go in the first. Chance in the high slot, too far for Price. And this goes back down the ice. Carter George leaves his goal crease to play it. Dickinson, outstretched pass. Down to 50 seconds, trying to find him between his skate blades. And this is intercepted now for the Czechs. Husinecky will send this in off defense. 40 seconds left to go in this middle frame. Canada's drawn within one now. They had to have it. Chalet went in the box for tripping. Now it's 3-2 Czechia. No goals for them in the second. 3 in the first. Howe toward the right side is Porter Martone. Good inside out move. Tries to get positioning. As this go back and behind the defense now. Sikora will get booed as he touches the puck again. This will be sent back down. Not enough for icing as Molendyke. We'll start it again. One more rush for Canada here if they can get it. Gavin McKenna now. 8 seconds left. McKenna, middle of the slot, deflected. Oh, the second shot goes high. Back in behind the net now. That is going to end the period. That would have been a 3-3 tie. But the shot goes high. Czechia survives. They're only down. Canada's only down one now. But that should have been tied. Gavin McKenna drove it against Husinecky. The chance gets deflected from Cowan, and Ritchie lifts it high off the crossbar. And that is how we end the second period. Canada still draws within one. It's 3-2. Don't go anywhere. We got at least 20 more minutes left to go. So let's give you the reset.
Evenly distributes the support across a broader surface area of your back for relief of lower back aches and pains. A super lightweight mesh fabric, ventilated to increase airflow and release excess heat. An orthopedic design, alloy support pad, and 4 built-in
Shots on goal for that period were 9-6 Canada.
better posture. The all
For the game, it's 2018.
the most customizable support for relief of lower back pain you
For Czechia,
guaranteed your money back. Get yours now at knxback.com or call 1-800-497-6490. Order right now when your shipping is free. Copperfield, feel the difference. Got hair loss?
Canada power play
Should I shave my head? Comb it over?
was 1 for 2 in that period.
Just stop. This is 1970. Keep your hair and your confidence because Bosley, America's #1 hair restoration experts, can give you your real hair back permanently. Check them out because they're giving away an absolutely free information kit and a free gift card to everyone who scans this QR code. Dude, you don't have to look like your dad because this isn't your dad.
And that Chalet tripping penalty was costly.
Trust Bosley because they're ahead of the curve. They use the latest technology to give you your real hair back. And the best part, Bosley's permanent solutions protected by the Bosley guarantee. Let them show you for free how awesome your hair could look with an absolutely free information kit and a gift card for $250 off. Scan the QR code. Don't wait. Scan the code now and ask about the Bosley guarantee. It's time to stir up the conversation. See how we rank the best of the week. All different and see if you agree. Tune in every week for the results of top shows. On NHL Network. This is NHL Network. Very frustrating, quiet for 17 minutes. What a flurry at the end for Canada. 6 shots in the final 3 minutes. A critical late power play goal.
So Porter Martone on the power play from Molendyk and Jaeger.
So Porter, walk me through this. You go from being a healthy scratch the last 2 games to scoring one of those critical goals in this game on the power play. Can you just describe what felt when you saw that goal go in?
Yeah, it's definitely huge, you know. We really want to win this game. We really want to. We have a goal line to win a gold medal, and it all starts with this game today. And I think that goal there, that power play was huge for us to get us back in the game. And we just got to continue to keep going.
Brought the fans to speak. Your parents just with great elation here. as we-
So if Canada does come back, again, they're only down 1 now as it's 3-2.
That's a pretty cool moment, and I was trying to do anything I can to help.
Let's just type this up here for YouTube.
A game like this where you have to give it your all. What will that look like for Team Canada here in the third period?
Yeah, we just got to continue to keep on playing. We're going to puck behind his D and just really get some net front presence. I think we do that. We can score a couple here and hopefully win this game.
Best of luck.
Thank you very much.
All right, here we go. There's Cheryl Founder, Jeff O'Neill, and Bob McKenzie. We like to throw around the TSN Tony play copyright whenever we can. They have to come back to win to turn that goal into it, but it definitely has the potential because you see it to have woken up this building and that team.
Yeah, part of the formula, if they wanted to get to a potential another Everly moment, James, was if they got a power play, they had to make it count. And that's exactly what happened with Porter Martone coming back into the lineup and right to the front of the net in the power play. That play right there is a questionable play for the ref to call it trip. It looks like he kind of just ran into him. I don't know, very questionable play. But they get the power play, it's just simplicity. It goes back to the point. And Molendyk just finds it on net with Porter Martone in front. It's a great tip. Maybe that's the key for these guys, is simplicity. Just get it back to the point, get it towards the net. Because the finesse stuff's not working. They don't want to run anybody over, so just try the simple stuff.
It's interesting, Starling. I like that they started that unit right on the power play because Molendyk was getting the hot through the Porter Martone. But Justin Brampton with his 54 points in 26 games, he gets to the inside of the ice. Beautiful redirect by him.
So there wasn't much to tell you about the middle frame. You had a Cihar cross-check, a cat and dive. Czechia was controlling the game on defense. Sikora was getting booed each time he touched the puck. Vojtech Hradec denying the slot. 304 Shelley gets called for tripping. Canada has life to score, and I think they need it. Slap shot from Porter Martone. Let's give you the time on that one. 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Slap shot power play for Martel. McKenna drives in the final seconds to frame and sends a pass in the slot. Count its left post. Still now 1 goal. This game is up for grabs. Czechia still leads the shot board 2018, but it's 9-6 for Canada in that period. And the power play 1 for 3, 1 for 2 in the period. Czechia, nothing on the power play in that one. And you've got to be careful now. If you are the Czechs, I will say this. That is giving Canada life and giving them belief. So if Canada wins this game, I believe the setup is the United States will play Finland. And if Canada loses this game, the United States will play Czechia. So we'll have to watch that because Finland has already beaten the United States in OT. Can they do it again? I think they could.
Everyone on the bench always says in situations like this, get one in the first 10 minutes and then go for it the last 10 minutes. So I like the idea, Cheryl, of what you mentioned there, have the defenseman join, but you don't have to go bonkers here. Because worst case scenario is you're way too aggressive and check counters the other way. You do have some time to play with a little bit. So the first 10 minutes, almost like a cautious aggressiveness where you want to be involved with the D-man, but don't get stupid with it.
So the Red Wings have taken the lead. Again, they could go for 2 out of 3 here alongside Todd McClellan's squad. Again, it feels good to say that more alongside Derek Lalonde. I'm glad that Todd McClellan is the head coach for the Red Wings. At least it's going to give them some stability. We'll check out the last 3 minutes.
16 goals, 40 points for Johnson last season, 10 and 21 this season. And missed some time with the shoulder issue. He's on to break it. Ahead from Mott. Wierenski with it. Tip from across center by the Blue Jackets with 103 to go. Wierenski in the middle for Fantilli. They score. The last 7-8 minutes. That's enough. That's how this came out. Big body got good, but Ben ringside. Hard to see where it got lost after he hit Galvas. The late challenge for goaltender after. I don't think so. But he is in the crease. And this would be a dangerous challenge. I'm saying, I don't know. Feeling your chance to have that challenge because you're 4-4 with 2:40 to go, and you want to make the point out here. Another 5-2 challenge. Holy mackerel. Whoa. Yeah, the risk is you're putting a power play that scored in 9 consecutive games in this building. 33% of late at home. There was some contact. There's no question about that. The only question is, was that contact enough to prevent the goaltender from doing his job? Van Riemsdyk, on his own, goes in the crease.
So as I look back here, we're going to flip to our featured game in a moment. But I'm looking at the Red Wings live call in between the Columbus Blue Jackets, and I think Van Riemsdyk has just made this a 4-4 game. I don't think there's going to be any sort of goaltender interference here. Red Wings are 5-1 in their calls. I think they're going to have to challenge here because they don't want the game tied. But if they miss, they're going to take a penalty, and that could be a game winner there for Columbus.
That's just by viewing where the cameras are. This little subjective, or a lot subjective. Again, same referees working tonight as did the Pittsburgh-Detroit game at Little Caesars on New Year's Eve. Eric Furlot and Gord Dwyer. The call on the ice is a goal. Here we go. Huge decision, one way or another. After third review, we must go for that okay.
So with that missed call, goal's going to stand. Red Wings should be on a penalty kill. I didn't see much that was going to inhibit Talbot to be able to do anything, to be honest with you. Unless that was actually challenged by the situation room itself. But the Red Wings should be shorthanded. So Jonathan Berggren's going to take a penalty here. He's going to serve it, and now Columbus, who just tied, they have a chance to win this one on the power play. So Van Riemsdyk from Fantilli and Lewinsky. We'll flip back into our featured coverage. I don't want to miss it.
All right, so hold on.
Two assists already. He doesn't have to play blindfolded in the third. Canada down by one. Our Elves take us to the third. Working harder at killing penalties, just plain and simple. Sillinger. And deep.
Open University got a big win over the Milwaukee Panthers today. They were 10-5, 65-49. And that was a divisional game. So good work there for the boys. That makes me happy. Breakaway here for the Red Wings. Berggren scores! Oh my goodness, out of the box. And the Red Wings might steal it. Jonathan Berggren again. He did it in back-to-back games. I promise you I'm going to flip back in between Canada and Czechia, but holy cow. What's in the box? They got Jonathan Berggren. Ventura blocks it, sets up Berggren right out of the sin bin. The diving play. Berggren's onside, stick in hand. He roofs that thing. And the Red Wings, with a massive goal, 35 seconds left to go in the third. Jonathan Berggren snipes it right out of the box. Lefty, top of the right bar and in. And now the Blue Jackets empty the net. 20 seconds left to go in the third as this one is sent back down. Toward the right side, Kent Johnson absorbs a hit. Red Wings clear it out. This will be iced against them with 10 seconds left to go in the third. So a failed challenge, as was 4-4 Van Riemsdyk ties it. Failed challenge turned into a kill. Successful Red Wings score. Consecutive nights with game-winning breakaway goals if this holds for 10 seconds. What can you say? What can you say? That's wild stuff for the Red Wings. Tyler Mott, after bench rod shot block, Tyler Mott down to a knee, gets this puck to Berggren off a diving play, just trying to get a soft, lofted pass ahead. Berggren gets it onside, and he scored past Merzlikins. Whistle, not sure why. Now most siders getting cross-checked to oblivion. Let me give you the actual end when we get to it off the update for ESPN. And I don't want to miss our coverage. So he made it just in time, again on the Twitter space, alongside active recall Jonathan Berggren with a breakaway goal for the Red Wings, 5-4, as that one's down to the final 10 seconds. We're back underneath this third period, 19:45 left, as we're just getting everything situated again. And it was Canada scoring on the power play from Porter Martone with a slapper that made it 3-2. So again, let's set the scene here, as Canada's got the puck in the offensive end. This one goes wide, and Dorowski will try to get this one back. Let's take one more moment. Gibson shoots. It's stopped by Hrabal. And this one picked up now for Czechia behind the net. Good hit here for Canada. Callum Ritchie sends one down to his wallet. Picked up now for Ritchie for a moment. Czechia does get it out. So Czechia wins. They're going to play the United States, and Canada would be gone. Czechia loses. Canada wins. Czechia is out. Canada is going to play Sweden. The United States will play Finland. That'll be your setup there for the semis. So that's what's at stake here as this third period is just underway. Sikora, Stancl will get this one back down the ice. Nimio will try to get this alongside for Price. Will do so. This will touch Callum Ritchie. Ritchie now, Porter Martone will send this one in. Hrabal will make the stick save. As Czechia now try to go right to left and across. Stancl on his right wing. Seam pass. Look for the back door. This one gets deflected. Shaw takes a hit. Now one toward the left side red line. As Sikora continues to get booed. Good step up there for Stancl. And Czechia don't want to get caught too much here in their own end as this gets sent back down. So they'll quickly take a change for Patrik Augusta's squad. See if Canada can find an answer. They'll take a change as well alongside Dave Cameron. 3-2 Czechia. Canada scored a late power play goal to end that middle frame. This is flipped alongside Price. Good backhand play there for McKenna. This one gets sticked away for a moment and flips. Stays in play as this will go now for Nelly. His wrister stopped by Hrabal toward the right post. 17:42 left in the third. This is a good start for Canada. I will agree with Mike Johnson on that, as Gavin McKenna able to slow up on the back skate. Dvorak got a piece of the last shot. I just want to take a quick look here. Did the Red Wings win that game against the Blue Jackets? It did hold. Jonathan Berggren, 5-4 breakaway game winner. 2 games in a row. Pretty cool. Canada's got the last 9 shots, while the shot board now has the edge for them, 21-20, but Czechia still ahead as Shala can't get the puck ahead. Arabel stops it with the stick. And now Czechia has to start on their own end off the long flip. Race for the puck. This will be blown dead. Price will get there first. 17:28 left to go in the third. So Czechia's lines can't change. Again, the home team, the Canadians, they host. This was in Gothenburg, Sweden last year, but this is in Ottawa. In Canada, they don't want to have 2 straight years where they get eliminated in the quarterfinals and don't even get a chance to medal and finish 5th place. It hasn't happened over 30 years if that happens today. But again, only being down 1 with that big goal. You might see OT here. So Dominic Petr on the 4th line against Callum Ritchie on the top line, and Petr wins it. So this will go back now for Price. Callum Ritchie. Easton Cowan, have it in his own end. He's still on his back skate. Now he's going to try to go left to right off a flip. This will bounce off of Hickey. This will be sent in now off Bo. McKenna. Gavin McKenna will be pinned against the boards. Played in off the backhander for Callum Ritchie. Ritchie try to pick this one up the pivot toward the right side wall. Here's Gavin McKenna. Slows up, makes one of the Czechia players fall down. One-timer save for Harabel. Rebound! And Harabel's got that one too. Gavin McKenna putting on the moves. Again, he is not eligible for the draft this year, just a little bit too young. And they didn't want to put too much on him. They didn't want to make it like Connor Bedard. But still, Gavin McKenna showing you some of those displays. Number 9 is able to make the defenseman bite it and then fall down was Jakub Dvorak. And then McKenna set up Ritchie for the 1T, and then McKenna toward the right side. Both were saved there for Harabel, but still good work there for Gavin. 16:49 as Jagger gets set to take the draw. You got Bertone and Howe on this line, but this will just go across the blue up. We Canada face-off win. They could keep it in. Up to send it in. Put him Bertone. Try to give a chase alongside Howe. 16:35 left to go in the third. This will be flipped. Marsky can't play it because it's a high stick. Just watch this one roll. Should get a neutral zone draw, I believe. Canada now starting to get ahead on the shot board, 23-20. Gociek, Jevlichenko now. Try to get this toward the right side, try to drop back to defense. And this will go back down across the boards. Canada will have to start again. Canada's had a good start from this third. All the shots have been theirs right now. First 7. Long outstretched feed from 100. Czechia just trying to play defense here, and I will agree with Mike Johnson on this side. I don't think they can afford to play defense for 20 minutes. There's got to be some sort of attack. Galvas trying to get this one out. Stick chop. It's bounced in between the circles. Czechia will find it. Galvas now will slowly put this around the inboards. Ninio will put a shot on as this is wide to the left post. Galvas again as it continues to bounce. Canada just keeps it in. And they will send it in toward the right side red line. Galvas one more time. Czechia has been forced to play a lot of defense in their own end. Their forwards will take a change. Canada, I guess, will do so as well as Galvas. Still pump faking him behind the mesh alongside Robel's net. And the crowd starting to boo as they're killing the time off the clock. Galvas takes his breath. Will send this in across the red. It gets denied. Pinelli will flip it back down. The Doe will watch as this goes toward the right side. Canada steals again. And they'll send it in toward the left side red line. Here's a slapper. This one goes just wide. This goes back down. No ice. Carter George will get a chance to stop it. Hasn't had a touch the puck in a while. I guess that's good for Canada there. Buffalo's got the early lead on Colorado, as Zucker has one toward the right side of the red line now. Pinelli, try to get this one. Try to drop this one for Nadeau. This goes back from Price. Long shot solved by Hrabal. And now Czechia. We'll see what happens here if they do this same game plan against the U.S. should this work that way. I don't think the United States would allow them to do it. Here's Callum Ritchie now off the rush near the right side. Doesn't go to him. Rister saved by Hrabal. He's got it in his stomach. 14-12 left to go. It's now 11 shots in a row here for Canada. "14 shots on goal in a row as we're near the 14-minute marker, 14:07 to be exact, for Canada. And I put this in my notes as far as the third. Can Czechia win this one just playing defense? 14 shots on goal in a row here for Canada. And I don't think they're going to be able to just kind of continue to put Band-Aids on a leaky ship. I know they're up by one, but that's the way it's looking right now. Face-off loss. Czechia has to play defense again. Port tried to get this one out. No shots on goal for Czechia in the last 11 minutes. As this is now toward the right side. Ritchie finds the entry off the drop. Slow up McKenna. High slot. Goes back to the defense now. As this will be taken away. Czechia try to get to the races. Carter George will meet it. We'll flip this in across the blue. Ritchie now. Wide open pass. One more. One too many for Gavin McKenna. Sikora able to flip that one down. Again, he's getting mercifully blued, and they wanted Canada to shoot it. Here's McKenna. Rister. This one will go off the stick of Hrabal, maybe wide as well. 13:20 left to go in the third. As it's sent back in by Gibson one more time. Unrelenting attack here for Canada, and I kind of wonder if Czechia is just letting him do it. Race now for Dvorak, going to get there first. He tried to send up either the blue paint, and now toward the right side, Canada can try to take this right to left. A 4-on-2 maybe developing here. Slow up middle of slot. Jagger wide open to shoot. Hrabal trying to make a save, but this one gets deflected. And now here's Chalet on a partial break. He gets absolutely upended near the right side red line. That's going to bring the red men to their feet, and Chalet just gets blasted as this goes to the left side. Jagger now alongside Ritchie as it's stolen by Jiricek. And Jiricek. Touch pass, Zidlicky a little bit too far. 12:30 left as Gibson will steal. Gibson now. Try to get this one for Howe to the right side. Hrabal, glove save, but it's in and out of the glove. And Czechia now will find a way. Here is Koss. Try to get this one ahead. Good stick chop now. Czechia will have it. Off the spin and turn Zidlicky. Zidlicky will find it for the left side. And now picked up here for Koss for a moment. Finally, some offensive zone time here for Czechia. No shots just yet. In the last maybe 14 minutes, and that's not even being hyperbolic. Koss. 9 shots to nothing in this period alone for Canada. As this will be Pinelli. It'll be a race as Pinelli's going to wave off this icing here with his hustle. 11:45 left in the third. Here's a wrister. This one goes high. Zidlicky now will find it off his backhand. He will just get this in across. The red has to take a tumble to do so. Canada with Brentley Nadeau. Nadeau now near the right side. Here's a bounce in off the boards. Price, wrister. This one hits the glass. Czechia will escape. Hrabal. Watch this one go toward the blue line side. Canadian defense. Well, Sawyer Nimino will send this back in. Carter George will stop it. George will leave it to his defense. Nimino will start again. He thought about it. He'll go back toward the left side of the mesh and try to attack that way. Cross ice pass. Nimino try to get this to his forward. Good pull bank. As this is on the left side now. Czechia, long flip. Will glove this down and through neutral. Stancl loses the puck for a moment. 10:50 left to go in this fast-moving third. Husinecky gets hit. And this will be sent down, played by George. That negates the icing. 27-20 now on the shot board. Jetluchenko finds the injury himself off a 1-on-3 now, uses the windmill, tries to get around the defense. Czechia is there. Jiricek gets the steal. Adam Jiricek plays it ahead. Chalet, long flip, glove down out of the air. This is across the logo, misplayed off the stick. Now to the right side, dot cross pass. Arabo gets knocked in the net. The puck goes in, but the net's off its moorings. Canada's going to want a goal. I don't think they're going to get it. This is going to get lived off. Puck knocked off its moorings. Net knocked off the moorings. And that should take us to the break. 10-21, no goal. We'll take a commercial break.
This telecast of the IIHF World Junior Championship is presented by Sensorina. Own the ice in virtual reality. NHL Sensorina 25.
Experience a new reality of off-ice hockey with NHL Sensorina 25. Available on Netflix. Transform any space into your own virtual rink where you can practice anytime, anywhere. With modes for goalies and players, get unlimited access to hundreds of drills, training plans, and more. Get more ice time at home with a hockey training that fits into any space and any schedule. Train smarter, play faster. NHL Sensorina.
Nobody covers the game like us. This is NHL Network.
Trying to talk here, but wild feet in the net. Catapult goes in the raffle hard. Now, they're pretty definitive about it. And there's no doubt the only case Canada would have here would be that Catapult was pushed in to raffle. The reason why he ran into the goal is because Stancl behind him shoved him. Or Chalet. Shoved him from behind. You can make a case that that works. What do we have here?
Canada's going to challenge this goaltender interference. Now, when I check back in with you with the game action, we'll get the definitive result of it here. But they're going to say Cataford was pushed into the net. Dave Cameron is going to challenge this here. Harabel is going to get a little bit of an extra breath. This could be a 3-3 game if the referees deem that the push that allowed Cataford had nowhere else to go, and that puck was going to go into the net. So now we get a chance to look at the replay in real time, and we'll see if Edward Chalet is the one that pushed Cataford into the net, and the refs will deem this as a goal. I am maybe 50-50 on this one, maybe 30-70 no. I will say that in real time, but Gauthier sends this cross pass to Cataford, bounces off the stick of Harabel, and Chalet. Again, I don't really think he's got anywhere to go. Cataford doesn't have anywhere to go. This is going to be big for Czechia more so than Canada because this game would either be completely tied and Czechia, the way that this is going, they could lose this game because Canada has had all the pressure. The way that it is right now, even if it is a no goal for Canada, I'm just going to throw this out there. If it is a no goal, I would say that Canada's still got the edge with the shots. No goal. So Dave Cameron challenged for goaltender interference there, and now Czechia will get a power play. So if you get it wrong, again, it's the same rules in the NHL. You get it wrong, you're putting your team shorthanded. I think it's tough for Dave Cameron to challenge that way, and I only say it because Canada's got the last 14 shots on goal, and they're pushing Czechia, and they're really almost making them hemorrhage. Again, they could challenge and try to get a goal in their own way. If they don't get it, it's going to be a delay game. Now they're going to delay game, and now Czechia is going to get a chance to play with the puck here. I know they've given up a shorthanded goal alongside Tanner Howe. I don't think that's going to happen again, but Czechia is going to get a chance to essentially kill time in this regard, and that's how they could backfire. So offensive zone draw. So Chalet is not going to end up with the penalty there. Cataford, it's a delay of game that'll be served by Canada here. So Czechia is going to get a chance to kill some time as we're halfway now through this third. Czechia really in survival mode. They don't have a shot on goal in the last about 14 minutes. They have a stick shot. And this one will go in deep. Wojtech takes a huge hit as this is kept in now toward the right side. This will be Motursky. Send this one to the right side. Czechia, wrister. This one gets deflected. Down toward the left side red line. Just kept in. High slot. Now in tight toward the right side line. Chalet trying to pick it up now. The captaincy can't get this one across. Canada will flip it down and take their change. 9:25 left to go in this third. Again, Czechia wins. They're going to play the United States on Saturday. I can't cover that because of the Sharks assignment. Canada wins. They're going to play Sweden. This will be sent in toward the left side, Sikora. This gets blocked by George and sent back down the ice. Again, if Canada wins on the United side, then that means, again, the United States will play Finland. This is Sikora toward the right side. And we'll get that all squared away when it's all done after this. Again, you have 4 teams left. Sikora toward the right side, kept in by Czechia. This is Jecho. Jecho now to the right wing side, still with it. Jecho, ride the wall. This will be not out. Jiricek will get this on Jiricek. As this is toward the left side, Bonk now. 8:30 left to go in the third. Callum Ritchie trying to pry this one loose. 8:25 left in the third. We'll get a whistle. 4 seconds left on the Czechia power play. Face off outside the zone. So Czechia only had 1 shot on their power play, 1 shot in the last 15 minutes. Stancl will send this one down deep and across the red, and Carter George will stop it. Again, he hasn't had much to do in the last, 15 minutes or so from what they're saying. Czechia trying to go 4-1. We're in the knockout round. This is the last game of quarterfinals today. Easton Cowan and the long flip. 8 minutes left to go in this third as this goes too far for Gavin McKenna. And now Nimio will send this one. 7:50 left to go in the third. Shot board is 27-21. Canada now trying to go left to right. McKenna will send this one ahead. This is off the outside of the mesh, trying to find Callum Ritchie. And this will be just flipped out there alongside Tomas Galvas. Off the pin. Vojtech will lose it for a moment. Easton Cowan couldn't find it. And Czechia just gets this out. It's a race down the middle and a tripping call against Canada. We'll see if they want to award a penalty shot. I don't think there was enough speed, as Peter Sikora was the one. Again, he's going to be public enemy number 1. But a tripping call against Canada, that's going to go against Gibson. 7:23 left.
Power through the downpour. To be the one who always gets it done. Our promise is to help you do it. Professional grade supplies for every industry. Same day pickup and next day delivery on most orders. Because you can't live in the future. With the right partner, you can be prepared for it. Call quickrange.com or just stop by. Granger. To avoid digital threats, just turn on your VPN.
So let's see if this is on Gibson. I know it's on Gibson, but it's a hook or a trip. Again, not delayed, not put in yet by Live Sport, but they're doing it live anyway. Right now, I see a penalty on both sides for live sport, but again, that's not updated yet. I think Gibson's going to be going to the box anyway. But 5-on-5 would be a little bit of embellishment. So a dive call against Sikora.
Gibson on the right side. Double tap to the side. Sikora goes down. Now you're allowed to call embellishment without the penalty. Right. That's what Canada's hoping for. You know, that pressure to
So Gibson slash Sikora dive. So it's just going to be 5-on-5. So 5-on-5, Sikora dive, Gibson slash, and we press on. 7-10 left to go in this third. Canada needs a goal. They have not been eliminated, and for a fifth place finish in the quarterfinals, back-to-back World Junior tournaments the last 30 years. Might be 20 years. I think it was 30 years. This is rarefied air. Czechia now, if they win, they could play against the United States. Canada wins, they're going to get Sweden. The United States would get Finland. The times are going to be squared away once we figure that out a little bit later, as this one's sent in amongst the inboards. But gut-wrenching time right now for Canada, as this is toward the right side dot. Porter Mertone trying to find it. This is just kept in by Canada. Off the wrister, this one gets deflected there. Alongside Tanner Molendijk. Czechia will use the glass and get it out. Gavin McKenna was all the way back, but Janowski will give chase. 6:16 left to go in this third. Joining with you on the solo call. I had Ian Genji here with me for a moment for along the ride. He's able to take this in again, admittedly, in between Cooper Hopkins, Alec Nava, Ian Genji. None of them have NHL Network, so I'm the one that always covers this in between the WJCs, but I enjoy it as this goes back in behind the end boards now. Adam Zidlicky try to get this one alongside Koss. Koss falls down. It's a partial break for Canada. We'll see the last man back, and this is no penalties here. A little bit of a defensive effort alongside for Fibiger as he got a piece of it. Price will send this around the end boards. 5:35 left to go in the third as they try to go left to right. A little bit too far. It's a bouncing puck. They'll get recollected. Zidlicky now try to find it. He's on the edge of the ship on the last, so he's got to take a change for Patrik Augusta's squat. Race now, Gavin McKenna. Try to get this one toward the left side red line. Takes a big hit. Oh, Gavin McKenna's down. He got lambasted. And that's going to bring a crowd into a frenzy. Let's go to the right side. Long shot solved by George. But now we got to look and see if Gavin McKenna's okay. Don't know if he got boarded. And man, oh man, the crowd is absolutely loud here. 5:08 left to go in this third. Gavin McKenna and toward the left side. And they didn't show the hit there, but good defense play by Czechia. We'll take a break. Just over 5 minutes left. What do you think, ladies and gentlemen? We're in the final 5 minutes here. Gavin McKenna just got smoked against the boards. Looked like he got boarded. 5 minutes left. Canada needs a goal. I'm going to update this here. 5 minutes left. Still 3-2 check. Don't go anywhere. Again, it's been a long time since back-to-back quarterfinal takeaways here for Canada where they don't even medal. And let me take a look at this. Holinka, big hit against McKenna, but no penalty called. So 5 minutes officially left as we pull back up the rosters here. Again, thank you for joining me in on this call. As this is toward the right side wing, taken away there for a moment. Picked up now for Nadeau, just for the moment. Now Stancl gets it away right to left the rest of the period here for Czechia. Long shot. Carter George will slow it down back in behind the cage. Stancl will try to give chase. 4:35 left to go in this third. John Underwood with you on the solo call from NHL Network TSN, NHL Network United States, TSN in Canada. And off the backhand now, picked up there in between. Canada tries to send it into the blue paint. Long wrister. This one bounces back. One-timer. Scores! Canada ties it! Nadeau right out in front of the crease. 4:18 left to go in the third. Couple chances from the point. Hradec can't stop them all. And Canada now has this game tied. Bradley Nadeau makes it a 3-3 game. So Nadeau scores. Got about 4:10 left. So Bradley Nadeau scores 5-hole off the poke. It's tied at 3. It was 3-1 Czechia after 1, but it's been all Canada as far as the push. Czechia just looks like they've been trying to survive over this last stretch. And now Bradley Nadeau, his second of the tournament, as we've hit the 4-minute marker. Can Canada win this in regulation now? Get the steal off the spin and turn near the right side dot. Slapper, Hradec, big save. Another slap shot. This one goes wide. And now Canada, they've got all the momentum. We've already said that before. Here's an opportunity. This one gets flipped high. This will reverse the ice. And near the left side dot. Canada looking for another goal. This one now in off the backhand. And this will be spun. Jagger tries to find it in the high slot. Here's Canada walking in, and a good save for Hradec, but it's still loose. Andrew Gibson now. Here's another wrister blocked by Czechia. Here is Gibson. Off the pass across, Jagger pulls, holds, shoots. This one deflected in amongst the traffic and finally sent out mercifully off shot blocks. 3:05 left. Canada sends it in. This is going to be a hell of a finish. We already knew we might get that. In between Canada and Czechia, these games are always good. Stancl can't find it. This goes back behind the end boards as Callum Ritchie alongside Easton Cowan. Ritchie try to pick it up and behind the mesh toward the right side. Everybody's standing here. Here's a pass and toward the left side. Czechia just trying to take an extra breath. They've been trying to survive over the last 25 minutes. As this is now sent in. This will be stolen coast. Big hit as he loses the puck. 2:25 left to go in the third. We'll get a whistle as we look to see if there's a call against Canada. I'm hearing a lot of boos. Gibson's saying WTF. Again, the days of the week as far as 2025 does start with that. And we'll see if Canada takes a penalty. Canada said, you got to be kidding me. I'm going to look at this inside the WJC board for live sport. Shot board is 31-22 Canada. The Zebras are conferring. I don't know if they're going to call a trip here. They'll look more incidental than anything else. I'll say that even as an American fan. And if Gibson gets called for a knee there against Coast and gets a 5, I think they'd be throwing stuff on the ice. We're getting the ref you suck chance. Usually you hear that in the NHL. You don't hear that a lot in the IIHF. But again, the tensions are high. Canadians with their heads on their hands. Play is under review. So Canada is going to get reviewed against another 5-minute major. If they get 2 5-minute majors against them in one game, all hell is going to break loose.
There's so much noise. You have to try to make a good hit. It's a tough hit to make at that moment. Cross head up, it's got to go around you. More of a trip than a knee, but I didn't think last one was going to be 5, and it was. Left leg stays pretty straight, but that's
So will there be a knee on Gibson against Coast in the final 2 minutes? It's under review right now as we give you the reset. I love the GoldenEye music that they're playing across here, so that is perfect. Nadell from Pinelli and Dickinson at 15:42. We're going to get our verdict. We're going to get a penalty regardless. Is it 2 or 5? 2-minute knee. So a minor. This will be a Czechia power play. It's going to last all the way to the final 27 seconds. So Gibson, he's not going to be thrown out. It's just going to be a minor knee against Kos. Right at the 2:27 marker, so you breathe a sigh of relief. Andrew Gibson can't believe it. The Canadian fans are up in arms. Again, there has been a lot to talk about in this game, and certainly we will be mentioning that regardless of whoever wins. 2:27 left. So Czechia gets a power play. They're 1 for 4, 2 shots. They already had a 5-minute major. Canada can score shorthanded. They already did. This is a long shot from 180. It's stopped by Hrabal and flipped in. Canada's got possession now. As they'll pin this toward the right side, Howe lost it for a moment. Molinowski will try to get this one ahead now. Toward the left side red line. He gets pinned against the glass. We're in the final 2 minutes of this third. Here's a chance toward the right side dot. Chalet will give it up to his defense. Pass across. Malenka will get this one now. Galvas slow up toward the right side dot. Czechia still trying to survey. 1:45 left in the third. Chalet, wrister, stopped by George. And this one will get sent back down off the glass. 1:35 left to go in this third. Czechia's got a power play for another minute. Czechia try to find the entry alongside Jecho. Slow chipping across the grass. Molendyk. Down toward the right side. Czechia. This is sent back down and across neutral. And it'll be recollected now for Adam Jiricek. 1:10 left to go in this third. This will be sent in. Points don't matter anymore. This is the knockout stage. It's win or go home. So that's where we are right now. We're a minute away from the start of OT, should this hold. So Nadeau poked it 5-hole through Hrabal to make it 3-3. Czechia's got a power play. Slap shot blocked out in front. Czechia picks it up near the right side dot. Now to the red line. This will go back. Jiricek one more. Blocked again. Jiricek one more. Scores! Czechia, 39 seconds left. Power play goal just before it expires. And Gibson has to come out of the box. The Canada fans are wide-eyed. Power play goal for Czechia. We'll see if it's Jecho. It was a couple of slap shot blocks. Jiricek got it back a third time. Left it to Jecho near the left side dot. He 1T bombs this thing past George. And now Czechia is off and running here. And they have a chance to knock out Canada. Holy cow, what a game. Unbelievable. Jiricek had his shot blocked 3 times. And on the third effort, sends it across for a 1T blast past George. 38 seconds left to go. Dvorak sends it in. It's Adam Jecho on the power play. Canada's hopes are down to 30 seconds. They got to push now as this is kept in. Molinowski sends it in deep. Czechia just trying to kill more time. Down to 15 seconds. Canada might be eliminated again. This one saved by George. He plays it. Back-to-back eliminations in 5th place. In back-to-back World Junior tournaments, maybe. Offsides. 7.8 left to go in the third. Czechia, 1T goal. Game winner might stand up with 7.8 left to go. That is Jecho from Adam Jiricek on the power play with 40 seconds left to go, and we have under 8 left. So it's down in the Canadian zone for the face-off, and this is the last thing you wanted now for Canada. 7.8 left to go in the third. It would be back-to-back WJCs in which Canada doesn't even medal. They'll be eliminated in the quarterfinals. Canada wins the draw. They're in their own end. Here's a pass from 150. Bounces off a skate. That's it. Jecho with the game winner. 40 seconds left to go in the third power play goal. And Czechia upsets Canada again. They win 4-3. They're moving on. They're going to play the United States in the semifinal. All that's left is the time differential. So it's Czechia, U.S. on Saturday. And the other semi will be Finland and Sweden. Czechia beats Canada. They win 4-3. And I will give you the final game story when it's all said and done. This is disbelief, but at one time, the way that this is played over the last couple of years, they haven't brought in their best players. Czechia was in survival mode for a minute. They got a power play. Gibson caught with a knee, and Jecho scores the game winner. 40 seconds left. Canada, their journey's done. They don't medal again for a second straight year. It'll be Czechia, United States on Saturday. Unfortunately, I can't cover that game because I'll be working with the Waterford Sharks. But if they do make it to the final, and maybe it is Sweden, United States, in the mix of it again, in between gold and silver, we'll get to that. But I'm just hoping the United States now advance against Czechia. Would I be surprised if Czechia gets into the gold medal game? Absolutely not. And you know Czechia wants their revenge against Sweden in the final game of the preliminary. Refuse Sutchan is being serenaded as we end it. Czechia wins it 4-3. We'll talk to you guys on Sunday as we go to the WJC gold medal game, but I'll be back on the air with the Waterford Sharks against Warhawks Saturday at 7:30. Peace. Unbelievable game. Czechia wins.